If you're serious about your skin, hair, nails, and joints, stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal isn't a supplement at all. It's not a trendy powder, it doesn't mix into water, and it doesn't have anti-aging printed anywhere on the front. What if the most collagen-dense food on Earth is something most people never even consider eating? Something you probably walk right past every week without realizing what you're overlooking. At this moment, millions of people are paying real money for collagen products, hoping to support their skin, their joints, even their gut. But here's the hard truth. Many of those tubs and packets are just processed fragments of what people used to get naturally from food. And the cost isn't only financial. It shows up as stiffness, as less comfortable movement, as skin that gradually loses its firmness year after year. Now, for the part that catches almost everyone off guard. The collagen your body recognizes most easily isn't rare, exotic, or overpriced. It comes from the animal parts modern eating habits trained us to discard without a second thought. And there's one specific cut, chewy, unglamorous, and barely mentioned, that delivers collagen in a more concentrated, truly usable form. You're not adding it like a supplement. You're eating collagen directly. I'll show you exactly what it is in a moment. But first you need to understand why real collagen foods can trigger a different response in the body than anything that comes from a bottle. Long before collagen turned into a modern craze, people were getting it every day without powders, capsules, or monthly deliveries. They weren't adding collagen, they were simply eating in a way that made sense. In this video, I'm going to highlight 3 collagen-rich foods that are still easy to buy, yet widely overlooked: beef tendon, chicken feet, and true traditional bone broth. I'll walk you through exactly where to find them, how to prep them step by step, and how to turn them into meals that can support your skin, joints, gut, and connective tissue from the inside out. And once you really understand this, most collagen supplements start to look like you're paying for a faint copy of the real thing. 1. Beef tendon, the pure collagen gem. Let's begin with the item that makes many people hesitate at the butcher counter: beef tendon. To someone who's never cooked it, it barely even registers as food. It can look pale, firm, and unfamiliar, and plenty of shoppers assume it's just fat or something meant to be discarded. That assumption is exactly why it stays one of the most overlooked collagen sources available. But once you know what tendon actually is, your perspective shifts fast. Tendon isn't muscle meat, it's connective tissue, the structural material that anchors muscle to bone. And nutritionally, that distinction is huge. Unlike steak or ground beef, tendon is made up of roughly 95% protein, and most of that protein is type 1 collagen. That's the same collagen that helps form the scaffolding of your skin, hair, nails, tendons, ligaments, and even portions of your gut lining. So you're not simply getting protein. You're taking in the building blocks your body uses for repair and renewal. And there's more. Beef tendon naturally supplies glycine and proline, 2 amino acids essential for collagen production, tissue recovery, and calming inflammatory stress. It also contains glucosamine, a compound people often associate with joint pills, forgetting it originally comes from real foods. With tendons, these elements arrive together in their natural balance in proportions the body tends to recognize and use efficiently. And the nutrition profile is striking for how deeply nourishing it can be. In about a 3-ounce portion, you're looking at roughly 131 calories, around 32 grams of protein, about 1 gram of fat, and 0 carbohydrates. That makes it dense in protein, without feeling heavy, surprisingly satisfying, and a strong fit for ketogenic, carnivore, low-carb, and ancestral-style eating. Now we get to the prep, because this is the part that scares most people off. Raw beef tendon is famously hard, so firm it can feel like your knife is pointless. But when you cook it correctly, it changes completely, turning soft and springy, rich with gelatin, and genuinely satisfying to chew. Start with an easy step that still matters. Rinse the tendons well under cold running water to wash off any surface residue so the final flavor stays clean. Then comes the step you don't want to skip: the first blanch. Put the tendons in a pot cover with cold water and bring it up to a boil. Let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. You'll see foam and cloudy bits rise. That's exactly what you're trying to remove. When time's up, pour everything out, drain the tendons, and discard that water. This one move makes a big difference in the smell, taste, and clarity. Now the real softening begins. Add the tendons back to the pot and cover them with fresh water. From here, choose the method that fits your kitchen and your schedule. In a pressure cooker or Instant Pot, cook on high pressure for about 90 minutes. With a slow cooker, set it on low for 8 to 10 hours. Or go classic on the stovetop, bring it to a boil, then drop to the gentlest simmer for 4 to 6 hours. Different tools, same destination. What you're aiming for is a fully tender tendon that's packed with collagen. Once it's done, lift the tendons out and let them cool briefly. Then, do the step that makes everything smoother, refrigerate them overnight, ideally sitting in some of their cooking liquid. As they chill, the gelatin firms up, giving the tendon a neat, elastic texture that slices beautifully. The next day, you'll notice the difference: immediately clean cuts. No slipping, no tearing. Now you can add them to soups, stews, stir-fries, or even crisp them up in an air fryer. And here's the last tip. Don't throw away the cooking liquid after cooling. It often becomes a thick, wobbly gel. That's collagen-rich broth, liquid gold. Use it as a soup base or freeze it for later. As for where to buy it, most butchers can get beef tendon if you ask, and Asian markets almost always carry it. It's budget-friendly, incredibly nourishing, and one of the most direct ways to give your body what it needs for stronger joints, more resilient skin, and a healthier gut. 2. Chicken feet. The forgotten kitchen treasure. If beef tendon is the collagen powerhouse people avoid because it looks unfamiliar, chicken feet are the one many people avoid because they look almost too recognizable. For a lot of Western shoppers, they don't even qualify as food in their mind. They're dismissed, pushed aside, or refused out of habit. And nutritionally, that's a huge missed opportunity. Chicken feet are built from the exact tissues where collagen concentrates skin, cartilage, tendons, and connective structures. They're especially rich in type 2, collagen, the form, most closely tied to cartilage support and the cushioning your joints rely on. If your knees, hips, fingers, or shoulders have started making themselves known more often than you would like, this is precisely the kind of collagen your body tends to respond to quickly. And it's not only collagen. Chicken feet naturally contain chondroitin, so valued for joint support that it's commonly sold alongside glucosamine in supplement form. They also supply calcium and phosphorus, offering gentle food-based support for bones, without the synthetic feel of many fortified products. And the price is almost shocking. In many places, chicken feet are among the least expensive animal foods you can buy. The secret to actually enjoying chicken feet is how you handle them, prepared the right way. They don't taste weird, they don't carry an off smell, and they stop feeling intimidating. They become tender, silky, and genuinely comforting to eat. Begin with a thorough rinse under cold water, then use kitchen shears to clip off the claw tips at the last joint and discard them. That one small step makes them feel instantly more approachable. Next is the step I never skip: the quick freshen up boil. Put the cleaned feet in a pot, cover with water, and add a few slices of fresh ginger or a small splash of vinegar. Bring it to a boil and cook for about 5 to 7 minutes. This short boil pulls out lingering impurities and any residual odor. Drain the pot, rinse the feet again, and you're left with a clean, neutral starting point that's ready to take on flavor. Now, cook them until they're fully tender. With a pressure cooker, cover the feet with fresh water or broth, and cook on high pressure for roughly 25 to 30 minutes. On the stovetop, place them in a covered pot with enough liquid to keep them submerged and simmer gently for about 1.5 to 2 hours. You'll know they're done when the skin and connective tissue are soft and easily separate from the small bones. From here, they're remarkably versatile. You can braise them in a richly seasoned liquid coconut water with soy sauce, garlic, and chili for a Vietnamese-style direction, or pair them with mushrooms and peanuts for something deeper and more hearty. They soak up flavor beautifully while adding their own silky texture to the dish. One of the smartest uses is almost hidden. Drop a few cleaned braised feet into faux ramen or any soup stock. As they simmer, they release collagen into the broth, turning it glossy, rich, and deeply satisfying. You might barely notice the feet themselves, but you'll absolutely notice how the broth coats your mouth and how filling it feels. And for the more adventurous, they can even become a snack. After braising until tender season, them lightly and dry them slowly in a low oven or dehydrator. You end up with a chewy, collagen-dense bite that's surprisingly hard to stop eating. Chicken feet are a reminder of something simple. Nutrition doesn't need to look fancy to be powerful. Sometimes the most restorative foods are the ones we were trained to overlook. 3. Bone broth. Our ancestors. Golden elixir. If beef tendon is collagen in a concentrated form, and chicken feet are collagen with a joint-forward focus, bone broth is the great harmonizer, the quiet staple that ties everything together. Long before collagen powders, before protein shakes, before supplements had glossy labels, there was usually a pot gently simmering somewhere in the home. Inside that pot were bones joints, bits of connective tissue, and the one ingredient modern kitchens rarely give enough of time. Bone broth was never a fad. It was a base layer of nourishment, and it earned that role. Real bone broth is a full-spectrum extraction from the animal. When bones simmer slowly, you're not only releasing collagen, you're pulling minerals from the bone matrix, gelatin, from connective tissue, and amino acids that support digestion, recovery, and restful sleep. That's why traditional bone broth feels nothing like box stock. One actually nourishes, the other mostly adds flavor. During a long, gentle simmer, collagen converts into gelatin and smaller peptide forms that are easier for the body to absorb. This can be especially valuable when digestion isn't as strong as it used to be, which becomes more common with age. Bone broth also provides plenty of glycine and amino acid linked to gut lining support, steadier blood sugar regulation, deeper sleep, and liver detox support. It's the kind of nourishment that feels calming and grounding. On the mineral side, it delivers calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium in a balanced food-based package. These minerals don't arrive isolated, they come paired with gelatin and supportive amino acids that can help the body utilize them more effectively. Let's get practical, because this is where most people miss the mark. It starts with choosing bones wisely. For the best broth, use a mix. Marrow bones bring richness, flavor, and minerals. Knuckle and joint bones contribute the collagen and gelatin that give broth its body. And if you have them, chicken feet add an almost unbelievable gel factor. Together, these create depth, nutrition, and that unmistakable thickness in the finished broth. Before the long simmer, always do a quick blanch. Put the bones in a pot, cover with water, bring to a boil, and cook for around 10 minutes. Then drain and discard that water. This clears away impurities and helps the final broth taste clean and pleasant. Move the blanched bones to a large stock pot or slow cooker and pour in cold water until the bones are covered by roughly 2 inches. Next, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. This isn't meant to flavor the broth, it helps pull minerals from the bones. If you want to add a simple aromatic base like onion, carrot, and celery, but don't overcomplicate it, good bone broth doesn't need much. Now comes the most important piece: low heat and long time. Bring it just to a gentle simmer, then turn the heat down as far as it will go. You're not boiling, you're coaxing. The surface should barely move. For chicken broth, simmer for about 12 to 24 hours. For beef or lamb, aim for 24 to 48 hours. During the first few hours, skim off any foam that rises after that. It can mostly be left alone. When it's finished, strain out the solids and let the broth cool. Then refrigerate it and watch what should happen next. Proper bone broth sets into a firm, wobbly jelly when chilled. That jiggle is proof you extracted real gelatin and collagen. Keep it in the refrigerator for up to 5 days, or freeze portions for later. Freezing in ice cube trays works beautifully. Bone broth fits into almost anything. Sip it warm with a pinch of sea salt in the morning or at night. Cook rice, quinoa, or lentils in it. Use it as the base for soups, stews, sauces, and gravies. You can even use it to sauté vegetables. Each time you use it, you're quietly upgrading the nutritional value of your meal. This isn't a supplement, it's the foundation. If you've been spending money on collagen powders, hoping for firmer skin, calmer joints, and a stronger gut, remember this: the most powerful options often aren't new, they're traditional. Beef tendon, chicken feet, and real bone broth aren't trendy, but they give your body the building blocks in the form. It recognizes best the way people thrived on for generations. Start small, stay consistent, and let your results speak. If this helps you see collagen in a completely different way, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Share this with someone who's been struggling with joint stiffness or thinning skin, and drop a comment below, telling me which one you're willing to try, first tendon chicken feet or bone broth. See you in the next video.